This session is brought to you by the Finance Magnates Intelligence team, and it is the masterclass that we've been preparing for a while. The Finance Magnet is part of Ultimate Group. As promised, we are not going to be showing any slides, no promotion, no product pitch. This masterclass, it will be purely data and analysis. We are going to be looking at where the FX CFD industry is moving next and how the second half of 2026 is shaping up. Okay, I think we should start. Yeah. But before we do start, very quick few house rules. This masterclass is being recorded and it will be available on demand throughout Finance Magnet channels. Our amazing team will send everyone a follow-up for those who registered and for those who were not able to attend. And if you want to drop off early as well, you will receive a follow-up recording as well for this session. We had open also the Q&A for you. So you be my guest, submit any question you have anytime. We will take those questions at the end of the sessions, of course, as we see still more people coming in. One more thing, we all go ahead and cast our vote for this small poll that we have created for you guys so we can have a look. We want to see in the second half of 2026, where are you focusing most? Is it regulatory framework? You're looking for readiness, license, compliance, or market expansion, penetration, new region, growth, decline, whatever you're into, or mostly you're focusing on competitor analysis and benchmarking. You want to see your peers, the shares, who is moving from where, into where, and from where. The poll is live. I see people are casting their vote. We'll look at the result later on. We'll come back to it for each of these with both Sylwester and Filios as well. Speaking of which, I think enough speaking, and I'm going to give the floor to our guest. First of all, thank you so much, Filios. Maybe you tell a little bit about yourself so our guest will know how amazing you are.
Ramzi, thank you. Pleasure as always to join the webinar of Finance Magnet. Thank you, the people that are joining with us. We'll make it with really worked examples and make it as constructive and impactful as possible. A little bit of myself. My name is Filios Petridis. I've been on a C-level position for data and BI departments the last 20 years in 5 brokers. We build the BI from scratch. We manage. We did what I call the end-to-end BI. Currently, I'm an individual consultant for data, BI, and AI, supporting Forex broker and Fintech companies. Pleasure
Amazing.
to be here again.
I mean, you sold yourself shortly there. Filios here, he's been in a C-level position, helping brokers, fintechs, and other firms to get the most of what they currently have and which they are missing. We're going to come back to that, Filios, of course. And the things that he does, it's an amazing thing. I'm not going to sell him, so we move on to that. Sylwester, maybe you want to introduce yourself next as well?
Yes, thank you, Ramzi. Hello, everyone. So my name is Sylwester Majewski, and I am head of the Insights and Reporting Hub at Finance Magnates. I am responsible mostly for the content creation, starting from the day-to-day operations to the quarterly intelligence reports, which we will talk more about later. I am also creating a custom report together with my team, and I am responsible for all the insights you see currently on our Finance Magnates Intelligence portal.
For those who don't know, Sylwester is being behind those numbers and analysis you see on Finance Magnet portal, financemagnet.com, as well as all the amazing report that is being produced by the intelligence departments. That it's on every single desks on every firm, and I would say, Sylwester, because you mentioned the quarterly intelligence report, maybe you give us a little bit history background on that and where we have been and how we got here today with the portal, which we'll come back to it. Filios, we will come back to you after that when the room start to, the vote is completed.
Yeah, so some of you may know me from the Finance Magnates quarterly reports. We have been doing them since starting in 2010. I believe it was the first quarter of 2010. So it is more than 16 years now. Throughout the time, we have launched like 62 editions of the report. We had like 18 editors working on the reports. We had over 200 subscribers and clients through the time subscribed to the reports. Since the beginning, they were probably the only source of information on the Forex and CFD industry, where you could find all the valuable metrics such like volumes or accounts. And I believe even up to today, we are the only one who do it so constantly on the regular basis. But despite the fact that it has always been a great product, QIR in itself had its limitations because it was a PDF product.
Mm-hmm.
So we couldn't bring everything we wanted inside. We were limited by the number of pages, by the cycle of edition, designers, and all the things around it. So at some point we came up with the idea to put everything online in a digital form, and that was the idea behind the current Finance Magnates Intelligence portal, to allow our readers and subscribers to have all the same data in much wider scope on a more regular basis, not like 90 days. Quarterly, we have to wait 19 days for the next edition. We do it now on the monthly basis. We have more brokers, 265. We have the old data back in the history, which is also important because normally we were buying just the latest PDF. Now you have all data from previous quarters, 21 quarters, in one place. You have an interaction with the data, which we couldn't have a PDF. So it's a much larger project. It's the same idea, but with the much larger scale and much bigger edge for our users.
Yeah, I was going to say we're going to come back to the comparison later on, but it shows how we started with that simple couple of pages. If you remember that, we used to send it by post, and then it turned out to some of the amazing magazines, the Quarterly Intelligence Report magazine, that it was this thick, and we used to also ship it via post.
Yeah.
Once we transformed to the PDF versions, one of the things that we actually found out that some of the data that we report inside those quarterly intelligence report, it's already a little bit late. It does provide the information, it does provide the analysis, it does provide a picture for the board or for whoever is working on the strategy, but it's still outdated. It's still last quarter, and that's why we had the portal. But we come back to that maybe later on. I want to check our polls to see where is the answer is coming from. Okay, so it seems like it's a very close vote. We have a total 32 people voted, starting from regulations, 34%. We have regional expansion, which makes sense, it's 53%. Maybe Philios, you could help us with some insight on this what the room leaned on to. When will you walk into a firm today? What usually tell you on which of these priorities that you see now, which seems like it's a very close vote, which one is actually more urgent? Not what just people say in the vote, but in general, when you have those day-to-day discussions. Let me close the vote.
Definitely, Ramzi, this is paramount for every company, and I believe, okay, the benchmarking and the business development is important, but for me and from my experience, compliance drive everything. So before any expansion or even the numbers looking good, the client acquisition, the volume growing in an area, you need the ground to be settled on a regulation. So first for me is compliance.
Mm-hmm. So the key here is the regulation. Even if you're looking into expansion strategy, you're trying to do market research.
Yeah, and the regulation before the expansion becomes the broker, because always you need the regulation. Maybe you will get a fine. Maybe the market seems nice to go, but the regulation drives everything.
Based on your interaction with those brokers throughout your career, maybe most recently as an advisor, what are the main concern or the main pain point that some of the brands, some of the broker miss during the research? Let's say if the board say guys, we want to do a market research, market penetration research for APAC region. What are the things that they focus on, and what the things that they are missing, which they should be actually more highlighted?
Definitely. The first thing that they see always is their internal data and internal reporting. So they're going to see their CRM, the new clients growing, then data from the platform looks promising, the volume increasing. The business development team says that everything is promising, which is true. But always you need to relate to external data to benchmark what is happening in a new expansion or in a growing area. So, for example, we had a real scenario that I'm not going to mention the broker, but we're planning an expansion in a new area in South Africa. Everything seems promising, business development, new clients, the volumes. But when we relate it with external data from other brokers, we see that we're not growing so much, and other people joined this area before us. Also, there were legal issues, new companies that didn't do the groundbreaking up with the regulation, they received fines. So
always behind room conversation within regulation that they are not aware of, which I had the same conversation, by the way, during the FX Expo International, where as you mentioned, it's everybody's focused on their internal data, internal team, internal analysis, which it's always going to be biased. I don't know if you agree with me on that one. You can't help it to be biased if you work for a firm and you try to analyze some data.
Ramzi, it's not biased, it's correct, but it's half the story, it's half the picture. You have a correct half the picture. The other half is the external data that will tell you the whole truth. Because your numbers are correct, your new clients from the CRM is correct data, it's not biased. The volume are true. But if you compare it to another broker, it seems that you are doing really good or you are not really good. Regulation-wise, you are not there to go to this new area, to this new region. So your data are not biased. I know what you're saying, are correct, are the first milestone, but it's not the full picture. You need to relate it to external data. Like imagine the benchmarking with another 250 brokers data. You see your volumes, you see the regulation, and you give to the top management the full picture to decide.
Okay. By bias, I mean how the data is silo. In this case, the brand has everything internally, and whatever the assumption they're going to have it on. We notice an increase in traffic in in one of the African countries. I think we should expand it, but that's not the case because it's your own data. You are analyzing something internally. That's what I meant by bias, by the way.
Yes.
For that, because you mentioned the external sources, maybe we ask Sylwester. We know that today is going to be the quarterly intelligence report is being released today, the Q2 2026, which is used by many brands to do the third party, let's say the outsourced data, so they can benchmark their data against it. We're going to come back to the portal issue later on, but very quick picture, Sylwester, maybe you can correct me. Throughout your analysis and the numbers you are putting on the portal on Finance Magnet, we see in a more political way, I would say this, we see that the volume is some of the volumes that is being reported, it's just way too big, and we see the huge jumpers, sometimes 3 times higher, 3 times faster growth, quarter to quarter, and we see that this has been almost kind of a pattern we see across the 265 brokers that we've been analyzing. Maybe Sylwester, you can shed a light on that. You can give us more information.
Yeah, so we put a very great importance on the data verification at Finance Magnates because, as you say, brokers can give us any numbers they want, they would like us to show, but we ask them always to provide the documents, and we try to verify on our own those numbers to see if they are really the same as they report, because in other way we would just put the things that are not true, and we do not want to do this. Of course, there are ways broker can try to make their numbers look better, right? But from the factual perspective, we always double check if the numbers are correct. How the brokers do it is another topic, but all the numbers the brokers provide to us and we measure them are correct in that sense. We just have plenty of different mechanisms that do not allow for this.
I know we said no slides, no, we're not going to do product demonstration, but can you share maybe the portal, show us those numbers, because that's what I think the people came for. We want to see these numbers live, what we have on the portal right now. Maybe you can just give us a very quick look, and then we come back to Philios, who can comment on some of the numbers that we are sharing.
Yeah, okay. So let me share with you the screen with current. I mean, they are not current. We do not have, we will not show the most current volumes, but I will show you Q1 volumes. So if you go to our website, you see 4 main sections. The one that is interesting for us is brokers volumes. Let me show it. It shows the whole industry in a very wide perspective, 360 degrees. By default, we have set 2 quarters, which show you the change in the last 2 quarters. We improved our rank, we made it bigger, so the jump is really enormous, 80% volume jump in recent quarter, in the Q1 actually, because it's Q1. We have on the portal top brokers, TMG jumped to the first position with their volumes last QIR. We have EC markets, IC markets, EC markets. You will find also on our portal everything related to how much volume goes through the different platforms, how much accounts. You can actually even export the data, whatever part of data you want, you can export to cover it by your own, to show it to your colleagues or the intelligence team in a way you like. You don't have to use actually everything we put here. So it's a very versatile portal which offers you a lot of things for your work. As I said, TMGM is right now at the top for the Q1, and it has more than.
Can we go a little bit at top? I just want to, because we received a question now asking about the methodology that we're doing.
Yeah.
Maybe scroll all the way down or all the way to the top. So what the broker volume is part of something we call transparency program, broker transparency program. What we are trying to achieve here is to have a more transparent reporting from the broker side, so everybody can be aware of what's going on. We divided this into three different categories. We have the verified, and reported, and estimated. And everything you see here, it's 100% transparent. We tell you exactly how each methodology is being handled and how we process. Yes, we do have a very difficult processing verified data. Sylwester is handling that. The brokers, we have a lot of partners. They provide us with some of the information. We go through our verification process. We have a very good our own algorithm that does the calculation and output something we call the confidence score, which is you can see here on the right hand. So some of these brokers, if they reported they had an increase of 300% in the volume quarter versus quarter, we do have a very strict verification process. Plus, we cross-check this across several other data points and other partnerships. But I want to ask Philios in this because since we opened the portal, from your point, Philios, how do you see this data and how you can interpret this data for a broker to build his strategy on, to rely his, let's say, market expansion on that the guest has voted?
This is, for me, in a broker, from my experience, is your Bible. Why is your Bible? Because not just for business expansion, but for monthly reporting to see what the company is doing, everything derives from volume. You can derive your growth. You can derive your ROI, your RPM, your what instruments are doing good. This is paramount and give you an indication of all the brokers what they are doing against you. It has so many metrics that can be beneficial for dealing, for operations, for funding, even for funding, because you can derive the equity for volume if you do it right. It's critical.
Can you scroll a little bit up, Sylwester? I just want Filio's input here. When you see the volumes, it's so visible, it's so obvious. We see that how the volume outrun the actual active traded account like that. What's the first thing breaking the brokerage? Is it the CRM, the platform, is the risk, or is there something else?
Is the risk, but at the beginning is just noise because everything seems normal. CRM have increasing of the accounts, the volume seems nice, but the dealing start to notice some position out of the normal. The platform can handle the head count because of the infrastructure. So, and also you can have false positive. Maybe you have a big position or a big client or a big IP or even a big leverage position that cannot scare the numbers. So many things. But for me, the risk does not break first from the trading. It's break from CRM, but you can see the noise.
Okay, so Sylwester, since we are doing the screen share now, based on the polls, most of the voters, they are looking for regional expansion. Maybe you can just jump into the FX CFD heat map. We see where is the demand concentrating in both Q1 and Q2, and where the changes happen.
Yeah. So I believe we are in a very interesting period because Europe, as you can see in the second quarter of 2026, is gaining advantage again over APAC. There was a time where APAC, especially including India, was very super popular. Like for the fall 2024 and 2025, it was the most popular region. Right now, we see that Europe is regaining the advantage, which probably is an effect of what happened in India. A lot of brokers that were doing their business are like gently moving out. They are a little bit scared of what authorities do in India, so we can observe that the interest of the clients is moving back to Europe. And I believe it's a very interesting period because from now, I believe we'll try as an industry to look for other options that would kind of replace India, which was super popular. And I believe we are in this period when the industry is trying to figure out where to go next from this point.
Maybe can you filter out the Q1 2026? I want to ask Filios a question here because we discussed this a couple of days ago. Filio, when you walk into a firm, and you hear all the discussion, does this map here matches what you hear from your side as an advisor?
Yes, and when you're working in a firm, always you ask, what is your license? Where is your biggest training? And this exactly relates to that.
For example, we see here Europe have gained 5% growth rate versus Q4 2026. But when we filter out by Q2 2026, we see the actual drop happening across all regions. Is like a pattern? The data, is it seasonal? Is it pattern? Is it correlation? Is it related to something?
It definitely is not seasonal. It's like Sylwester mentioned. Maybe it's a regularity thing, change of regularity. Maybe it's geopolitical, like the Iran war. It can be affected. Now I believe this is geopolitical, but seasonal, it doesn't affect these volumes, definitely.
Okay, so if someone's still focusing heavily on LATAM, okay, but the map, it shows something else, what do you usually advise the CEO or the C-level, the strategy, the board members, let's say in one couple of sentences?
First of all, you need to do your due diligence. Sometimes you focus on LATAM because you hire 3 years ago all the LATAM stuff, all the LATAM business development. You invested heavily there, but the market now is in Vietnam. So I always start from the internal data, as I said before. You see your client growth, the various regions, the volume. You relate everything together, not just one metric, many metrics. And then ideally, I will benchmark it with external data, what the other brokers are doing in these areas. Then is the regulation, of course.
Very good answer. Very good answer. Because if you look into APAC and you try to expand into LATAM, you see APAC has a higher market share than LATAM. They give you a very clear on how APAC is getting more regulation. We've been seeing this the past couple of days, which we will discuss it later on. Sylwester will be sharing this with you. But in LATAM, it's more colder. It's less regulation. It does look more lucrative. But when you compare the regulation into market expansion, you have to go with APAC in this sense, in my opinion. Is that good advice, Philios?
Definitely. That's what the data shows.
Amazing. So maybe back to Sylwester. You mentioned that TMGM and other brand is been jumping up and down, and we every quarter we see a new volume. The one we tracked leaders. Who moved in Q1, and which are the brand that is in your current report, which is released today, that is leading this broker volume? If you could show us the top movers.
I'm not sure if I can share the news, but yes, we have a new leader. So TMG is not a leader anymore of the rank. We have a new broker, and I was like, and when I was checking the activity on our heat map, it also confirms that they are also doing a lot of business in APAC. So APAC is really still strong. It really brings a lot of profits to the brokers, a lot of volume, a lot of activity.
So if you want to share, maybe since you are doing a sales pitch now, you're pushing everyone to buy the Q2 2026. Maybe we could show the broker volume for Q1 2026. You could share with us some of the top movers there, the top 5.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. The latest one, Q2?
No, the broker volume for Q1 2026. If you want to share with our audience, who were the top movers there?
Oh, actually, I have a Q2. I'm not sure if I can show it.
Yeah.
Just a second. Q2, right?
Yeah. If you're willing to share with our audience the Q2 2026 data, then
absolutely,
they will be very, very happy.
It's a fresh product just launched today, a few hours ago. Okay. So we focus this time on China because they are really cracking down on the brokers there. But if you want to see the volumes itself, we have a new leader.
We always have a new leader.
It
seems the industry is moving the right direction.
Yeah, it is. Let me find it. Oh yes, here we have it. So the new leader is.
There we go. We keep
scrolling. Here you go, guys.
Okay, so we have a new leader. EC Market.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a huge growth. What I'm noticing something here very, very interesting. I don't know if Philios is noticing the same things. The FX share in the FX CFD industry is very, very low. Maybe what is the main asset that is actually driving the FX CFD industry today, Philios?
It was and still is Euro USD, FX, precious metal, especially gold, and then the derivatives. But always, and I believe this will be the picture in the next few years, it's going to be Forex, Euro USD mainly, and gold, and maybe crypto will come to the picture. But still, the market is the same as far as this picture is showing.
Okay, Sylwester, when it's come to who is leading, and we see this extreme growth. I mean, this is like extraordinary numbers. I would say record-breaking ones. which is the main driving factor? Is it the existing accounts or existing trading account? If you know what I mean.
So, in case of EC Markets and TMG, we also see a large growth of active customers accounts. So it's not only a bigger activity of existing accounts, but they also have more and more accounts. We see this in the data.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question that I think it's in everyone's mind now. How do you verify those numbers? Okay.
So the numbers, first of all, whenever we see such a large jump in any of the metrics, we ask brokers to deliver to us some kind of documents that verify the numbers. We don't take it as granted. Brokers deliver to us the documents. We had this process with EC Markets just a few days ago. So we had to verify the numbers, and that's it. Whenever we see a jump much bigger than the average industry trend, it's rising a flag for us, and we are always trying to double check with broker what's the reason behind it. So we take a very close look at how the numbers change.
Just an FYI, the methodology is way more complicated. Sylwester is trying to simplify it, but the process it's way more complicated. Again, as I mentioned earlier, the sheer depth that we dive into verifying every single data point from multiple sources is just, you know, it's a lot of work from the team, from the machines that we have internally, and it's a huge effort from our partners as well, and so on. But Phileas, I want to ask you, would you present this number to, if let's say a brand or a broker asks you for some advice, would you take this number as it is without even checking it?
You mean if I was, let's say, a chief data officer in a board meeting to take a decision, for example?
Yeah.
Look, yes or no? No, if it wasn't with the compliance improvement, because the first question will come up: where you found this number? Do you trust them? Okay. With compliance, and if the data is verified, of course, I will present it because it will give you a clear direction. And okay. Going back to your previous discussion, which is very important related to this, for me, how you verify data, that's also your question. It comes down to 3 tiers. Think of them as a traffic light. Verified is green. The data has been cross-referenced against regularity. That's why I mentioned compliance, because will come up question. So if compliance is present and approve this, of course I will present it.
Okay, since you mentioned compliance, maybe Sylwester want to share with us the compliance section within the portal. Maybe Sylwester.
Yes. Yes.
Because we keep mentioning compliance, and the polls show that there is you know, we need to focus more on compliance. Same what Phileas is saying here. We do have a compliance section within our portal. By the way, it's free. You can just register and have access to it. The idea behind this section, maybe you click on compliance and recent regulations. Sylwester, we just showed our audience what we're talking about. I'm not seeing anything, by the way. You clicked on compliance.
Yes, I have a compliance. Hold on.
We have a stuck screen. This one. Okay.
Because
the idea behind this product is we try to have everything in one place. Yeah, just an easy access, convenience for everyone to track all the regulation, the updates, the news, the new framework that is coming in one place, so you can have access to it. So maybe Sylwester, if the question will be, okay, thank you, you're showing me what happened before. Maybe you can, based on your analysis that you keep publishing about, what is next, what happened after? If you could help answer that question.
Yeah, I think it's very important to mention that our intelligence portal is a combination of several very important parts. Like we mentioned, volumes and heat map, but compliance is also super important. It is important also for the verification of the volumes, because depending on the compliance, whenever you have a license, it depends on the region, you can offer different form of leverage, and most likely you will have different results, different volumes, because in some areas you can perform better, in some areas you can offer lower leverage. So its compliance is super important. And also, if, for example, you would like to track your competitors, because that's how you use our portal, you for example, pick a broker who had a really large growth in volume, then you have to check from which region this volume comes from. And when you check from which region it comes, you need to check in compliance what kind of regulatory you need there, what are the rules, what can you expect. And this section compliance is specifically for this purpose. You can find here everything that is related to your competition. You will see where they have licenses, where they are regulated, so you can practically mimic their activity if you would like to compete with them.
Okay, Pilios, before, let's say, you went to a brand, they ask you for advice. Should we get a license? You gave them the advice, yes or no. Do you usually find this kind of feed useful, or do you wait for the legals to send you the PDF after the fact checking and so on? Which one will be the best approach in your opinion?
The best approach is to have it before, but from my experience, it's always come after, and that's a problem. That's why many brokers fail in new areas or new expansion. Normally, and what I suggest, it should come before, not after. But normally, you do the expansion, you do the decision, you hire the people and the resources, and then comes after. So this report is paramount.
I want to ask another follow-up question. We've been tracking all the warnings and the fines that is coming across the region from multiple regulatory bodies. If FCA warning, like clustering, we've been noticing their sheer amount of warnings and fines has been coming in. And also at the same time, you see a rise in a region in terms of volume. So what is your advice will be here? Do you pause the expansion, or you actually go ahead and you start to accelerate and you try to penetrate and you try to even throw more marketing on it?
I faced this many times, and it's very important you based on internal data or internal and external to take this decision. I'm asking, where you base the decision on only internal data?
No, we're talking about both internal data and the regulators. FCAs, it just keep throwing out warnings and fines. We know we have the data. Maybe Sylwester would like to share this number with us. We see there's so many warnings and fines coming from FCA, and you are already operating there. Do you take that sign, and you already have a very good volumes? It's coming from UK.
Look,
you consider to accelerate, or you try to say, okay,
no. You don't accelerate. You don't stop the operation, but you stop the marketing, especially to retail, until you clarify all the situation. You keep your business going, but you stop the marketing and the branding on the retail side.
Depend on manufacturing, in my opinion,
that's the main thing, until you clarify all the regulation noise.
This maybe Sylwester want to share with us the quarterly intelligence that is going live today with the compliance section. What we are highlighting for this issue? Can you maybe share with us the Q2 2026, the compliance section, and where we are highlighting?
Yeah, so we have five different aspects which we picked from the latest quarter, which in our opinion were very important. One of them is a CFD, which cleared the rules for the crypto perpetual futures. It's a very hot topic right now in the retail trading world. So we covered that. We think it's very important, especially for the crypto exchanges which try to pushing into the other categories of trading except of the cryptos. We also have a penalties from the ASIC, which was very active recently, over 300 million Australian dollars of penalties.
It's a huge fine. Very big fine came from the ACIC a couple of days ago as well. Yeah.
Yeah. We also have a large fine for XTB, one of the biggest brokers in this part of Europe, over 20 million zlotys from Polish regulator for XTB. So it's quite a good lesson for other brokers what not to do, because we describe what actually happened there. What else?
And also the Singapore released something around the AI agent that is being used across the brokerage and the services.
Yes, that's true. Yes, that's true. However, we didn't put it in the quarterly intelligence portal yet, but it's true. Recently, brokers, I think it started with Singapore, but we see it all over the globe right now. Brokers, regulators are putting more attention now on the more focus on the AI and how it is being used, because it creates additional complications. Like, for example, some systems, when AI is actually putting an order, it creates a lot of different conflicts inside of the compliance. So it's a hot topic right now, and we believe other regulators will follow this issue.
Okay. I mean, we're running out of time. I would love to see Sphilios comment on that. Where do you see, based on the current regulatory framework that Sylwester has mentioned, where do you see next? What is next? How do you see the regulatory framework will shape in the second half of 2026, Sphilios?
A regulatory framework will become even stricter, I believe, and this is good for the business. This is good. It will make it the operation better. Of course, the companies will cost more, but I will see an increase of business and not in decrease. But definitely, like we discussed, and it's been the discussion big so far, you need to do the groundwork on compliance, or your internal data, or your external, in order to have to cover the new frameworks or anything that is coming.
From my opinion, I see that the war is going to still going on between the different regulators around prop tradings, poly markets, and hopefully we see a resolution by the end of 2026, if not within the first quarter of 2027. The other thing that we will see heavily start to be coming into play from different regulators, it's the fact of usage of AI in the financial, as a financial advisors, and all these AI agents that many, if not all, brokers have on their portal, either integrated with their platform and so on. I think we're going to see a regulation coming that way very, very soon from main European regulators. We are out of time. We have that was the time went really, really fast. Sphilios, you say we need to cover all that in 1 hour. You see, we didn't have much time to cover everything.
We need another webinar to cover everything.
We definitely need another one, because there's too many things I want to share with we'd like to share with our audience. But unfortunately, again, as we said, this is the first masterclass that is going to be introduced by the FM Intelligence. We're going to be introducing more, hopefully, very soon. We have today the amazing quarterly intelligence report. Q2 2026 is going to be released, and we're announcing that this is going to be the last PDF version, but not the last report version. Is the difference? Is the PDF versions, as we've been discussing with many industries experts in the past year or so, that the feedback we are hearing is the PDF. Yes, it does has an amazing information. It does have the data. It does have the depth of the analysis, but not as the portal currently have. Very quick example, Sylwester, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong here. The sheer number of the data points that we have on our portal when it's come to broker volume, it cannot be converted to a PDF. Yeah, it's just way too many brokers, way too many metric, way too many information, and also it's more relevant. It's up to date as it will report it. The PDF, however, be very honest with everyone, the process is very complicated. It takes exactly 1 quarter to produce one quarterly intelligence. from all the data collection to analysis to our amazing design team putting everything together, proofreader, analysts, editors. At the end of the quarter, we have this quarterly intelligence report, some of the data which we already have, but we could not include it in the PDF because it's already too late. I mean, I'm sure everyone here attending this, they know how painful is the process of producing hundreds of PDF report version in a PDF. So that's why we have the intelligence portal now. Everything you see there, it's up to date, it's live with way more metrics, a lot more depth, and that provide you the accurate information on the time it needed. I have a board meeting, Philios, in a couple of days. I can't wait for Finance Magnet Quarterly Intelligence Report. It's going to be released in the next quarter. So it's already too late for me. Yeah.
Ramzi, for me, this is important. The quarterly report is important, but it's a quarterly photograph. The portal is a live feed. The photograph is useful. I use it, but it tells you where you have been, where you were, not where you are now. That's very important.
Okay. Before we take question, in very quick one sentence, Philios, where do you see, in terms of market expansion, regulatories, and according to our polls, where do you see the second half of 2026 look like in our industry?
In our industry, of course, we have this geopolitical tension that will affect and nobody can predict. But I believe we're going to see increased volumes, increased false positive because the market is so unpredictable. And also, the regularity framework will change a lot. And like you said, we don't know what will happen with the AI trading because AI trading is becoming the thing. Maybe in 2 years, we won't be trading, maybe the AI trading. So this needs to be regulated.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sylwester, where do you see the next half of 2026?
Yeah, the most recent data suggests that we have a little bit of a slowdown because all the previous quarters were driven mostly by gold trading. If you look at the brokers' data, like 70-90% of the volume came from the gold. So now gold and silver are a little bit slower, so the market is slower too. So we don't know where it will go from there, whether the gold market can spike back or will it sit back where it sits. Another thing is that I am really focusing on the poly market and Kalshi thing because I think it's a very interesting situation which can either bring more clients to CFD or maybe a competition for CFD. We will see, but it's interesting that how it will be taken over by the regulators. We have seen the ESMA already stating that it is kind of like a binary option, so it will be interesting to see the development in this region.
Okay, in terms of region expansion?
From me, again, it's here.
For now, it will be Europe, but I think we will seek for another hot place.
No details? You are not giving our audience some details?
Wow, if I had the details, I would be super rich, Ramzi.
Well, we do have the numbers, we do have the data, and based on the analysis, we see there is going to be Europe is going to keep holding their strong position, not because let's say the number of the traders, but actually it's because of the infrastructure, the technology, the access to internet, the devices, and the level of knowledge of traders within European Union. It's always going to hold the first position. What is going to compete next? We're seeing it's going to be very interesting race between APAC and LATAM. That will be very, very interesting. We're going to be seeing those shifting positions, second position, as we go. But if you ask me personally, and I wanted to be rich, so I would say I will put my money on LATAM as the next region to go for, and to be more specifically, to be very honest, any LATAM Spanish-speaking country, that will be one of the things that I will be focusing in terms of market expansion. For assets, stocks seems the most safest currently for broker. We don't see much turbulence. Again, we didn't have a chance to share all the details with our audience, but when you look at the chart for the asset classes in the past couple of years, and you see how the commodities is start to doing the same pattern as the crypto, less up and down. But when we look at the crypto, it's more crazy, and the only one remaining calm and remaining still with less movement is the stocks. So I would say many brokers will take that as a safe haven. They will be trying to force that. And then, of course, there is other brokers that will be focusing more on the crypto. Hence, we're seeing the FX is shrinking. Some of our top volume being reported. It's not even 1% the FX. Yeah, we saw the numbers, we saw the data. Okay, it's time for question. We're running really, really late. So I'm going to check the questions coming in from our audience. We have, okay, Ross is asking, 80.5% of North America seems very, very high. What brokers are operating there for FX, for CFD? Sylwester?
For CFD, not much because they don't offer CFDs there. But for Forex, we have Forex.com, of course, interactive brokers. As far as I remember,
maybe you want to share the numbers, show us the data, who's there actually leading on the portal?
I don't have it prepared, unfortunately, but I would say interactive brokers, Forex.com, Oanda, these are the strongest players in the US markets when it comes to the Forex.
The strongest player in North America, I'm looking at our data now to be just to give some from our heat map rows. We are seeing three main players there. Oanda has the highest market share in US, followed by Interactive Broker and then eToro. In Canada, we got Oanda at 44% of market share, followed by Interactive Broker with 11% share, and Forex.com. So these are the main players in both Canada and US. Brian is asking what percentage is gold. I think we already answered that. Maybe Philios want to come back to that as well again.
Well, globally or regionally?
Global.
Globally, so give or take 30 to 40%.
I think the data show, if we look at the comparison, the gold is actually, we had this discussion during IFX Expo. The gold is made up to 65 to 70% of total volumes. Some of the volumes that we've been reporting, the percentage of gold.
That might be true, depends from quarter to quarter. But if you take it yearly, normal is the range of 30 to 40%.
Yeah, I would add it also depends from the geography because, for example, in Asia, gold is super popular in Asia, like up to 90%, while in Europe it's not that super popular, but average globally would be around 70, 80%.
Okay, I really like this question. It's from our anonymous attendee. The question is, if you could give every CEO one piece of advice about using data to make better business decisions, what would it be? Philios, I think that's your area of expertise.
Okay, if you are going to a CEO meeting, just give them one slide, one key number that it will show them direction. You don't give them a lot of numbers. You don't confuse them. They need to take a decision. They need the direction. So maximum a slide with one number, maybe maximum 2-3 metrics that shows direction. But always contextualize your answer, your presentation, not with internal data and external data. Okay. So for example, if you have growing revenue, growing numbers, everything seems positive, check what the other brokers are doing. That will support the picture to the CEO and give them 2-3 metrics that will help them take the decision.
My advice to them, from my point where I am sitting, I deal a lot with brokers and with data. It's my day-to-day and I love it, just to be honest, is build yourself a BI dashboard as simple as possible, aggregated, that does comparison to your competitor, direct competitor. Don't get too many data sources. Stick with your own data, few cards showing you the number that the CEO need to know. I don't need to know exactly trader number 6 has 300 euro deposited, and then he applied for a withdrawal. And this is none of my information. The CEO need to look at the total aggregated numbers of total deposits, first deposit, second deposit, whatever you want to call, total traded volume, for example, and add your competitor as a benchmark, and very few metrics, very few informations that can help you understand where to expand next. And a beautiful map like what we're drawing here in our portal. That's it. You do not need too much information. So my piece of advice is get yourself a data guy, maybe get Filios to help you have a better BI dashboard, that it's simplified, straight to point, help you to make the decision that you need to make as a C-level. Yeah? Okay. Last question. I'm going to get this one. This is very interesting. This is the first time we are mentioning the word AI in this session. I promise I'm not going to say it. But Danielle is asking, what is the share of AI advice and sub-automated trading volume in FX CFD industry? Filios?
I don't have a figure, but I will believe it will be less, currently less than 5%, but it will grow exponentially the rest of the year and the next years.
Sylwester, you have any numbers?
Yeah, I agree. We don't have exact data, but from, for example, data we know about algo trading, it's not that much. I would agree that it's not much than 5%, but it will definitely grow as we simplify the trading. Yeah.
To simplify trading, and then we have the compliance is coming in. Yes, Filios.
Do you consider, because we need to differentiate here, algo trading and AI trading the same?
No,
because
I just
yes. Just to clarify this. Yes.
Yeah, because AI trading, I've been seeing this. Many people approach and they say, "Look, I have this amazing tool that can help you do this." It's just a simple AI tool that actually aggregated the historical data and tried to project for you. It's a very risky thing. I personally will not recommend to use any AI assistant trading. That's my personal advice, because the AI only, again, I don't want to like to mention this, we do this every single day. AI has access to publicly available information. It does not have any other information. Simple as that.
Yeah, and a few things on the AI. Use it to analyze the graph. It's very good to analyze your graph, but don't use it for trading in general.
Okay. I think that's it. How do you process raw data? We already answered that. We have one question interesting from Neophytos Panayotou. Is asking, is the data, can you export the data? The data is not exportable, but you can request something we have, which is called custom report. We can create whatever you need based on your need, and then that will be an exported data as well. Just to put it out there. And Mrs. Dora is asking, how often? Let me just make this clear. How often should broker executive compare themselves against the market? Filios, I think that's the last question we're going to take. Filios?
For me, ideally is every day. But normally from experience and from the markets, every month is enough.
On a monthly basis?
On a monthly basis.
Sylwester?
Yeah, I think it's not worth to look at it on a daily basis. Once a month will be enough.
It depends, in my opinion, because it depends on what type of information they are looking for. If I want to follow regulations, compliance, you definitely need to do it live, not on a daily basis, minute per minute. You need to have an access to such an information so you can receive any regulatory update, changes, warning, fine as it happens. That's another section. When you try to do benchmarking and comparison and so on, daily does not provide you any data. It's going to be anyway, the data get aggregated and actually become accurate after 48 hours. So daily is not going to be accurate. I would go with what Mr. Pilios was saying. Monthly basis will be enough. If you would, if you have something big you want to build strategically, you want to build your plan for 2027, 2026, definitely day to day, it's not your thing. It's mostly for the
absolutely right. But you need to clarify then, for example, if it's for a decision making, maybe monthly, quarterly, definitely. But if it's for a monitoring or anything else, monitoring the company, it should be daily. It depends. It depends what you are trying to do. And decision making, monthly and quarterly.
Once a quarter is already too much, a decision maker. But then his team need to be aware on a daily basis. The operation of the competitors and the analysis, the compliance, that's a team jobs. There's a department for that. He should dedicate to that job. He should be focusing mostly on a long-term strategy, long-term business approach, and should not bother with the day-to-day operation. That's my opinion.
That's why most top management reports should be monthly or quarterly. That is
quarterly. We do it quarterly as well. It's more efficient. It's provide more information. It actually helps to build a better strategy as well.
And give you a clear direction of where the company, the market is going, everything. Okay. Daily and monthly is just noise.
I think we are out of time. Fortunately, we have to end this. But promise, this is going to be continued. We're going to have another one very, very soon. I would like to first thank Filios for making time in his very busy schedule. FYI, Filios was traveling and he jumped literally out of the plane and he jumped on this call. It was so we really appreciate
you guys.
Thank you so much. And of course, to our amazing Sylwester, thank you so much for the screen shares and the information and the insight that you provided today. And also, I will maybe grab this chance to thank you for all the work you've been doing for the past 10 plus years on Finance Magnet and Finance Magnet Intelligence Report, as well as the custom report. From myself and everyone at the FM Intelligence team, thank you so much for joining us. Again, this will be on demand. The team will share with everybody a follow-up. Also, we will share with you the links to our quarterly intelligence report, the final PDF versions, and more information about the portal and so on. Until next masterclass, I would like to thank everyone and enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your holiday. If you're planning for holidays as well, please consider to come to Cyprus. It's an amazing weather here. Okay, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Bye.